Come on. Okay. That should do it. Fuck you, Google Plus. This is your fault. I won't give you my damn comment section. This is your fault. Yep, there we go. Okay. Why is... Christ's sake. What? If you guys can hear the sound of my voice, please let me know in the chat room. Because last week we had some audio problems to start with. So, if you can hear me, if you can hear the audio, fine, let me know. And then we can start. Okay. Looks like audio is good. Alright. Let's get into this thing. Okay. So, Impact Wrestling World Title Series Week 6. Yeah, why did I get the 6th? That's odd. Alright, World Title Series Week 6. Last week, we had a show comprised of just a bunch of wrestling matches in the World Title Series. And this week, here's a shocker, we have a show comprised of just a bunch of wrestling matches in the World Title Series. And if I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, it's only because TNA have essentially been delivering the exact same show over and over for the last 6 weeks. And it looks like there's a lot more of this to come. Dixie Carter sent out a tweet a few hours ago saying that the semifinals of the World Title Series would be in December. December? Bound for Glory was in October! For Christ's sake, how long is this fucking tournament supposed to last? I'm almost at a point now where I don't even care who wins this thing anymore. I just want it to be done with so we can finally move on to something on this show that does not involve non-stop matches in a tournament that never ends. Anyway, starting the show tonight is Madison Rayne versus Gail Kim from Group Knockouts. Before the match, they showed this really strange video of Madison pretending to be a ninja by hiding behind a potted plant or something. I didn't know what the hell that was supposed to be. But I'll give it this much. it was something different, I guess. But then it didn't factor into the match in any way, so I'm really not sure what the point of it was. The match was what it was. Gail versus Madison. It wasn't a bad match, I just didn't care about it. I'm sorry, but this matchup does not interest me, and it hasn't for a very long time now. The work was just fine. Very good, even. But ultimately, it was just another match in a tournament that I'm kind of over by now. And of course, Gail wins, which means that she will be moving on to the next round of the tournament to the shock of absolutely no one. Because Gail Kim. The announcers do a Matt Hardy interview via green screen. I still don't know why we're putting so much focus on Matt Hardy, of all people. I don't see what significant benefits there are in that, or what kind of buzz it's going to create, if any. But it was one of the only things on this show that was not a wrestling match in the World Title Series, so maybe I shouldn't complain. So from there, we move on to Jesse Goddard's versus Eli Drake from Group Future 4. This was a matchup that I have not seen before. Featuring a guy that I think TNA should be giving a lot more attention to in Eli Drake. This was as much of a match as it was several minutes of both guys just trying to out-heel each other. And, well, kudos to them for going against the grain, I guess. The match itself was pretty standard, but the heel stuff was kind of interesting. You know, they were, at least they were trying to change it up and do something that everyone else was not doing. Which I appreciated, and hey, Eli Drake won. All right. Then we have Matt Hardy versus Matt Hardy versus Eddie Edwards from Group Tag Team Specialists. For whatever reason, TNA are just in love with Matt right now. So if you thought Eddie Edwards had any chance at all of going over here, then you haven't been paying attention. What do you want me to say about this? They have a good match. The finish was cool with the twist of fate off the top rope. Matt wins. And I still just don't see the point of this Matt Hardy push. We have a vignette of EC3 dropping by the TNA offices to deliver money that he was fined because of what happened to Bound for Glory. He gets in Dixie's face for a minute and says that he's going to win the World Title Series. And then he leaves. Okay. There was probably a lot more they could have done with that. This is really the only time we're getting out of the impact zone all night. And, EC3 confronting the boss at the corporate headquarters. I mean, there were any number of things that you could have done here. But it's that they didn't bother. He hands off the check, and him and Dixie have an argument for a little bit that didn't seem to cover any ground that hadn't been covered already. If EC3 has proven anything by now, it's that he can take a few crumbs and make them seem like a meal. So he tried to milk what he could out of this. So in that sense, it was okay. It was the writers at least attempting some kind of storyline segment. Which are very few and far between on Impact right now, so, okay, good. At least they tried. They could have made more out of it, but they could have made less out of it, too. After this, we have DJZ versus Mandrews from Group X Division. And it's... Sorry. I don't know where that cough came from. Anyway, DJZ versus Mandrews, Group X Division. It's about what you'd expect. It's a really fun match between two guys that TNA are sadly doing absolutely nothing with. I'll credit them for trying to tell a story, with Mandrews taking a little too long to set up certain high spots until it costs him. Really good effort from both guys here. I enjoyed the match. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean anything because the X Division guys don't mean anything in the World Title Series, and we all know it. After a Mahabali Shera training montage, because TNA is touring India pretty soon, we have a recap of a Group Future 4 match that occurred earlier in the night between Crimson and Micah. So, once again, a World Title Series match featuring Impact Wrestling's so-called stars of the future was not even important enough to be shown on Impact. Well done, TNA. And our main event of the evening is Ken Anderson versus EC3 from Group Champions. Here's the problem with this match. Anderson has lost too many matches and cannot advance in the tournament anymore. So the only intrigue here at all is if he can be the spoiler and stop EC3 from getting any points. And is that really how EC3 is going to take his first loss in TNA? Probably not. So there's no suspense here, not that there really would have been anyway. And the crowd seemed to be thinking along those lines because they were just not into this one. Strange, because they had been chanting for EC3 throughout the night, and then when he finally has his match, they're mostly dead for it. Yeah, you figured that out. Match wasn't bad. I was feeling a lack of energy for most of it for some reason. Finishing sequence was good, though. However, the eventual outcome was never in doubt for a second. So it kind of took the wind out of the sails here. And that's where Impact fades out for the week, with the cliffhanger being that next week we will yet again see a bunch of matches in the World Title Series. Unless, of course, said matches happen earlier in the night. The World Title Series is having a lot of the same issues that the Bound for Glory series used to. There's too many people in it, and it takes too long to get to the point. But with this, the issues become that much bigger because there are so many people in it, so many matches, and it lasts for so long that the entire show is consumed by it, and it just starts to feel really repetitive and redundant after a while. It's not a bad idea on paper, but we've been doing the same thing, putting on the same show for a month and a half, and I just want them to get to the damn point already. Multiple times on this show, I found myself looking at the clock, wishing something more interesting would happen. We're 6 weeks into the World Title Series now, and there's still weeks, if not months, to go. And I'm just not finding it terribly compelling right now. Should it really be this complicated to crown a new world champion? Is it really necessary to take this long to do it? All my usual feelings about Impact lately apply here too. It's not a bad show. Most of the wrestling is good. Its biggest offense is that it's just kind of boring. And those are my thoughts on Impact. So if you want to give your thoughts and feelings on Impact or ask me any questions that you might have, hit me up in the chat room. Once again, we have no comments section because Google Plus is screwing with me and I don't know why. I'm trying to get the comments section re-enabled. I just can't figure out how. Alright, Jeff Atwood. I know you're not into The Walking Dead, but I wanted to let you know that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is going to play the supervillain named Negan next season. Okay. I don't know who Negan is. I read the first volume of the Walking Dead comics at a Barnes & Noble. It was okay. Just wasn't really my thing. Once again, I watched the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead. I just couldn't get into it. If you guys like it, fine. It's just not for me. Direwolf87, do you watch the Mark Remark? No, I do not. This is the first time hearing of it. William A. Bear, your thoughts on TNA might or might not return to Spike TV? Well, they need a new TV deal with somebody. Going back to Spike TV isn't the answer, though. I mean, that's going to be a Band-Aid for a wound that needs stitches. I remember many people, myself included, were happy when they put Spike TV in their rear view. And now things with Destination America have soured so much that going back to Spike is considered a good thing now. You just put them, best case scenario, it'll put them back in the same position they were in before. I don't see how that helps them. Aside from, keeping them on television so they can keep their heads above water. But will it help them, advance the product and improve their brand recognition and grow their product? Not any more than it did the last time they were on Spike. Direwolf 87. Did you see the Asuka Cameron match from NXT last week? Let's just say there were chants of rest in peace. That does not surprise me. So how badly did Cameron get her ass kicked? I didn't see that. Maybe I'll find it on Diva Dirt or something. Let's see. The Save Me one. Rayne can't get over as a heel or a face. Maybe a comedy act will work for her. Possibly. I guess that would be something with Madison that they haven't tried yet. I didn't find the ninja video especially funny. Mostly it was just kind of dumb. It's like, well, what the hell is this? Well, why are they even doing this? It didn't connect to the match. It was just some weird video that had no reason to be there, and then nothing happened in the match to play into that. Maybe it's a new gimmick for her. Maybe they'll continue this on later. I don't know. But first impressions was I just thought it was kind of stupid. William A. Bear. I haven't coughed all day, and now all of a sudden I can't speak at all. My idea is to reboot TNA for 2016 when they get a new TV deal. 1, make Explosion the only show for the X Division. Fire the old creative team. Keep Billy Corgan. Get a new creative team. Since Explosion doesn't air in the United States, you're pretty much limiting the X guys, so they could only appear on like the B show that doesn't get any U.S. airplay, so they can only be on the show that airs in Europe or internationally or whatever. Not that they're getting much airplay on Impact, but I don't see why you want to limit those guys and keep them off Impact. Fire the old creative team. Oh, hell yeah. Those people need to go. They are tapped out. They have been tapped out for a long time now. I mean, it's not like these guys running the show has put the product has taken the product in a positive direction. It hasn't. God knows the ratings haven't improved. I mean, the company is going in one direction with these people writing it, and that direction is not a positive one. For the life of me, I don't know why Dixie has let these people write the show for so long. Because they just haven't gotten results. Keep Billy Corgan. Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard of him, from him, he seems to have his head screwed on straight. We don't know how involved he is in the writing process, but get a new creative team. I think that would be a given. Direwolf 87, did you see the new trailer for Jessica Jones? And your thoughts on it? Yes, I did. I think I preferred the first full-length trailer. I got more of a creepy vibe from that. More of a psychological thriller vibe. This one, it was just cut together differently. Different taste in music and stuff. It was good. Yeah, I'm still excited as hell for the show. The first full-length trailer was my favorite, though. I am really liking the visual aesthetic and what they're doing with the Purple Man from it's just from a visual standpoint. I like how maybe the purple in him is going to be done with like cinematography and lighting and stuff like that, rather than like makeup or CG or whatever. That's an interesting way to go. I think it'll work. Probably want to avoid going to CG with the Netflix stuff, because they seem to want this to be like a really down and dirty pseudo-realistic environment, which probably wouldn't work if you pumped up the VFX too much. Let's see, but yeah, it's a good trailer. Very much looking forward to Jessica Jones in, what is it, 9 days now? Wow, it's almost here. Awesome. The Save Me one. If Taryn leaves TNA for religious reasons, do you think she would be replaced as the leader of the Dollhouse with Jade and have Marty and Rebel still playing backup? Religious reasons. I'm not clued in as to what that is. I knew there was something going on with Taryn, some kind of religious thing. If Taryn is joining a church of some kind, haven't really heard much about that. If she were to leave, oh gosh, I don't know if there's really a suitable person to replace her as the leader of the Dollhouse. I mean, I would certainly want Jade to be the spearhead of that group if they were going to continue it. Maybe have Marty be like the spokesperson, since she's probably the best on the stick, and have Jade carry them in the ring. But no, I mean, Taryn has been so. They put a lot into Taryn being the leader of the group and the spokesperson of the group, the poster girl of the group. If they lost Taryn, the group, I don't think there'd be a whole lot of mileage left in it. If they could continue with those three together as a faction, I guess. Maybe they want to de-emphasize the gimmick and turn it into something else. They had to pick someone to be the leader. I would hope it would be Jade. But, yeah, losing Taryn would not be a good thing. Jeff Atwood, there have been rumors that the WrestleMania main event next year will be Reigns versus Cena for the world title. Heard the info from PWM on Twitter. Quite possibly. Any plans that involve Rollins are out the window now, so that's... if Reigns isn't the next world champion, I'll be shocked. And, Cena's their go-to guy in these types of situations. So that if that's their plan now, what the hell else are they going to do? They didn't build up any strong heels to take Rollins' place should he go on the shelf. So now they're scrambling for what to do, and I don't think Cena and Reigns haven't really had a program yet. So I could see them wanting to do that. Let's see. A whole bunch of questions got built up here. William A. Bear, what network do you think you want TNA to land on? I have no preferences for networks at this point, and I've told this to other people before. I think they're going to have to settle for what they can get. They wouldn't have the bargaining power to land on a big network like FX or USA or whatever. If they did, they'd probably be canceled for lack of ratings pretty quickly. Boy, how sad is it that Spike TV is probably their best case scenario at this point? Wow, that sucks. Jeff Atwood, if I was in the WWE writers, I would make Ambrose the champ. And maybe if he'd been pushed better lately. But Ambrose has not been positioned to be able to sell that. I'm sure some people would like it, but the guy hasn't been built up, really. If he had the right build-up, he'd probably be one of the top choices, but he's not really in a position to do that. The Save Me One. Davey Richards should get a main event push after this tournament. Well, after this tournament, he's still gonna be one half of the tag team champions. Yeah. Assuming they find a tag team for the Wolves to feud with. I would hope that would be one of the things that they're doing while they're airing, all these dozens of shows that they had in the can. I think the last set of TV tapings was what July, August or something. They taped months of TV. So what are they doing in the off time? Hopefully finding some new tag teams. So the Wolves have something to do. Direwolf87. Did you see the tweet from EC3 where he did the crotch chop in front of the TNA headquarters just like Finn Balor did? Yes, I did. It was funny. Jeff Atwood, what is your favorite Dallas Cowboys joke? I know you love the Cowboys jokes when they lose. I don't really have a favorite joke. I just like seeing Cowboys fans freak out. For those who don't know, I love it during football season when the Cowboys lose, because every time the Cowboys lose, the tweets in my timeline are hilarious. I don't even watch football, but I love it when the Cowboys lose because it always gives me a good laugh. It's like people like saying, God, I don't know, but like saying score, goal, whatever, and then something inevitably bad happens. I'm like, I'm so disgusted right now. I can't believe this. We can't catch a break. It's just fun to watch the people lose their shit over football. It's kind of stupid and petty of me. I admit that, but I don't care. I like it. I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. The Save Me One. Eli Drake is the guy TNA should be pushing to fill the spot Magnus left on the roster. Well, he's a guy they should be pushing to fill one of the spots they have on the roster that were left by all the people who have departed recently. I don't know if I put him in the Magnus spot. I'd certainly give him a prominent regular role on the show, for starters. Darewolf87, thoughts on Greg Hardy? I don't really have any. The Save Me One. They should just make Spud and Mandrews a tag team already. I don't know why they haven't done that. I don't know why they haven't done that already. I agree. It seems like a no-brainer. And it's not like either guy is doing anything right now. Both British boot camp winners coming together as a team. Why not do it? Give them something to do. Gives you another tag team to play with. Seems like a great idea. JGH Zilla, again with screwing the future 4. Yeah, I don't... What's with that? I don't understand. How can you even label them the future 4? Future 4 implies that they are the stars of the future, and yet and yet they're so unimportant to you that you won't even show their match on the show. So why even bother putting them in the tournament if you care so little about them? Makes no sense to me. William A. Bear, continuation of my ideas for TNA 2016. 5. No more heel and face factions. Oh, hell yeah. Dude, give factions a rest for a while. TNA is so hung up on factions. It's one of their biggest go-to angles, and they're just so overused at this point. They don't mean anything anymore. 6. No more invasion angles. Yes. 7. Get some new and talented fresh knockouts. Yes. B. Alternative version of WWE. I would also like to add no more power struggle storylines where the fate of the company is at stake or the ownership of the company is at stake. No more of that. No more takeover storylines. So I've done a lot of those too. Yes. this to everything else. Direwolf87, did you get a chance to listen to Abyss on JR's podcast? No. I didn't care. Just didn't. Duke Nukem 3DO. Should the World Title Series story be about the world title? Do you want it to end up like the Bound for Glory Series 2011? 2011. Which one was that? I'm blanking. The world title, the Bound for Glory series is one of those things where it was a good concept, but they just never figured out how to execute it properly. I'm kind of getting that vibe here. I think there was one Bound for Glory series that came off really well. I'm just blanking on the year. Was that the 2011 one? I don't know. But yeah, I think we're past the point where the World Title Series could turn out into something exciting and captivating. It's just going on just too long. The pacing is too slow. It just feels like nothing is happening right now. GGH Zilla, better than last week or worse? I think it's about the same, really. Like I said, there are no real differences in these shows. There's just the same thing over and over again. I don't think that any one of them has been that much better or worse than the others. Jeff Atwood, The Undertaker and Kane versus the Wyatts feud does not interest me at all. We all know Taker and Kane will go over the Wyatts, and Bray Wyatt will prove that he is done and needs a serious change. Hasn't Bray Wyatt proved that already? They have turned this character into such a joke. He beats up him and the rest of the Wyatt family. They beat up the Undertaker, carry him backstage. They beat up Kane, carry them backstage. Then Bray Wyatt comes out and he starts spewing this nonsense about, I consumed the Undertaker and Kane's souls. Their demise is my resurrection and blah, blah, blah. Okay, what the fuck does consuming their souls even mean? Obviously it means nothing, because then, on Monday, Taker and Kane come out with no explanation, not looking like anything bad happened to them at all, not selling anything, and they just walk in and immediately make Bray Wyatt look like a complete jackass. He runs... Now, he has them surrounded with all his cronies. He runs at Undertaker. Undertaker gives him one shot, and he goes down like a rock. He's just cowering in the corner. So then Harper and Rowan attack Taker and Kane. They get taken out. Then Braun Strowman, he's just standing there waiting for them to finish with those two. So he attacks them by himself, and then they take him out. And the two of them just destroy all four Wyatts. Is this leading to a Survivor Series match? Because there's no point in it now. Why should we even care about a Survivor Series match at this point? They already got their revenge in the Wyatt family. What is the point of even doing a match at this juncture? Why would there even be any interest in it? We know the Wyatts can't win. You made that very clear. It's just dumb. Duke Nukem 3DO. Should the World Title Series story... No, wait, nope, did that one already. Sorry. William A. Bear. Final part of TNA 2016. 9. Be on the road and leave the Impact Zone. I think they'll be doing that. They're taping TV in India. They're talking about taping TV in New York. But let's all keep in mind that shooting TV in the Impact Zone is a cost-cutting measure. And they don't have a lot of money to play with right now. So, I know none of us like the Impact Zone, but for TNA, it's often a necessary evil. 10, be live every week. Again, there is a reason why they tape so much TV in one block, because it saves them money. Being live every week is going to cost them a lot more money. And their belts are just too tight for that right now. 11, new tag teams. Yes, new tag teams are very badly needed. 12, push the homegrown and talented stars. Okay, yep. Totally agree. Save me one. When will they get to single elimination matches? When they get to single elimination matches, things will get better. Okay, but when the hell are they getting to single elimination matches? I mean, we've been doing this thing for a month and a half, and we're still in round one. Are the rules going to change when they get to round two? I don't know. I don't remember that being talked about before. But even when they do get to single elimination, I suspect they're going to find a way to draw this out as much as they can and as long as they can. And I'm not interested in waiting for this to get to the finish line. It's taking so long. Just get to the point already. God. JGH Zilla. You should see the Mark remark is from the guy who does Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and he makes fun of WWE show by show. Okay, so is it like Raw reactions? Alright, maybe I'll check that out if I get a chance. William A. Bear, my money on the TNA TV deal of 2016 is FX or FXX. Oh, I think FX might be aiming a little too high. Yeah, they would have to deliver... They would probably have to deliver much stronger ratings than they can deliver at this point in order to survive on FX. Yeah, I don't see that being a possibility. You never know, but I wouldn't count on it. William A. Bear, last minute update of my TNA 2016 idea. Make Explosion a weekly TV series and the only show for the X Division. You already mentioned that. And Explosion is already a weekly TV series, it just doesn't air in the United States. If they wanted it to, they would have to get a TV deal. And right now, they don't even have a TV deal for Impact. So, one thing at a time. Save me one. When I watch Raw these days, this old Muppets song lyric pops into my head. This old Muppets song lyric pops into my head. Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never know. Oh, yeah. It's like a kind of torture to have to watch the show. I remember that song. The Muppets. Oh, the Muppets. Jeff Atwood. Paige seems to lose a lot as of late. Is it because the WWE is mad at her because she said the fuck word on Facebook? It seems WWE has it out for Paige. I didn't hear about that. If she did drop an F-bomb on Facebook, I imagine they're not pleased with her. But they are giving her a title match at Survivor Series. And I thought the losses were done in part to turn her heel, so I could see why they did that. But no, I don't think she's in the doghouse or anything. William A. Bear. My bad, bring Explosion to the U.S. Okay, well, again, they would need to secure another TV deal to do that. And right now they're working on one for Impact. Direwolf87, did you read the Paige interview? She says that Vince supports the Divas division. Ha 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 ha! I heard about that, and that's a little bullshit. Vince supports the Divas division. What is she basing this on? What, because they get longer matches on TV? So what? The matches mean as little as they did before. They're getting exactly as much attention from creative as they did before, that being not much at all. Vince supports the Divas division. Who is she trying to fool? William A. Bear, I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, exactly. The Save Me one. The first trailer showed the dark side of Jessica. This one shows more the badass side. Plus, with all the songs in the trailers, they really need to put out a soundtrack for this show. Agreed. The soundtrack for Daredevil is awesome. I listen to it. I've got it on my iPod. I listen to it all the time. Well, it's soundtrack. It's a musical score, but it's really good. And if the music for Jessica Jones is anywhere near that good, I'll get that soundtrack too. William A. Bear, I didn't see the Jessica Jones trailer yet. I will watch it later. Yeah, they've got a new one out. Second full-length trailer. It's good. William A. Bear's funny comparison to Sports Network and Wrestling. Fox Sports 1 equals TNA, ESPN equals WWE. Alright, I don't watch either of those stations. That sounds about right. Direwolf87, is it their plan for WrestleMania 32? If it is their plan, it would make Reigns a transitional champion if he were to face Cena, face or heel. Well, transitional champion, in quotation marks. I mean, if Reigns wins at Survivor Series, which I suspect he will, and holds it till WrestleMania, he would have been champion for a good several months. That's not really a transitional champion. Save me one, bring wrestling back to TBS. I think TBS would probably be aiming too high as well at this point. William A. Bear or TNT? Really? After what happened last time? Wrestling was on TNT? I would be very wary of something like that. Armand, TNA is so boring now. It has hit rock bottom. It's making WWE look good, which is awful. I wouldn't go that far. I agree the shows have been lacking energy lately and are just overall not terribly compelling and are kind of dull, thanks to this World Title Series just taking up the whole show, so it can't be about anything but matches in a tournament. It's just not a lot going on right now, because the tournament is taking so long to get to the point. So in a way, yeah, it is kind of boring at the moment. Making WWE look good, I wouldn't go that far. WWE is in a very deep creative pit right now. It's a struggle just to pay attention for me. William A. Bear, I know, man, they need to change badly. I meant for TNA. Let's see, I watch Raw. Does this WWE title tournament angle sound familiar to you? Does Survivor Series 1998 ring a bell? Alright, well, I mean, what other choices do they have? Their world champion of many months just went down with a knee injury. He tore his ACL, his MCL, his meniscus is fucked up. He's out for Lord knows how long. They got to crown a new champion, so what the hell else are they going to do? Jeff Atwood, do you listen to wrestling podcasts? If so, who do you listen to? Occasionally. I listen to Slam Zone once in a while. That's because my buddy Chess Army does it. But there aren't. I don't really, that's not really something I seek out. Wrestling podcasts. Deontay 320. Whenever. Oh, well, hold on. Whenever TNA goes to a new channel, what advice would you give them, if any? Stop making the same mistakes. Learn from your past failures and don't make the same mistakes over and over again. And, put more emphasis on storylines and characters. Because just plain wrestling is not going to get you where you need to be. You should know this by now. You've been taking the gimmicky ROH approach for a while now, and what are the results? The results are you lost your TV deal again. Okay, you need to evolve the storytelling process in the writer's room. First and foremost. Do I think that will actually happen? No. Because again, they are not learning from their mistakes. Armand, why do they show this serious share a video package of him training and focused, while at the same time they're trying to build him as the new Punjabi playboy? TNA lacks consistency and always has. It's sad. Well, I think they're retooling the character a little bit. I think they want to make him a more serious competitor, to maybe kind of legitimize him a little bit. Due in no small part to the fact that they're touring India soon, and they probably want him to play a major role on those shows, which makes sense. If you got the guy playing a major role, he can't be acting like too much of a clown. They want him to be more serious. I understand that. And if they're going to have, I would think if a character is in a world title tournament, that would be the time to get serious. So I kind of understand. Deontay 320, bullshit because Sasha Banks says only Triple H does. That sounds more accurate. Direwolf 87, who goes heel, Reigns or Ambrose in your opinion? If I had to choose, probably Ambrose. It kind of seems like they're taking a quasi John Cena approach with Roman Reigns, and if that's the case, then they're not turning him heel. Yeah, wasn't that long ago when the rumor mill was abuzz with reports that WWE wanted Roman Reigns to be the heir apparent to John Cena. And if that's the case, I would expect him to stay babyface. Damn. Sorry. I don't know where that's coming from all of a sudden. Direwolf 87. Did you hear about what Sasha Banks reblogged? The Marks and Smarks will cry, we want Sasha, and Vince will say, no. I did see that. Best Watchmen reference, and she is getting crap for it. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they soured on her for reblogging that. I totally get the frustration, but she's not in a position where she can throw her weight around. She's new to the main roster, and she's not an integral part of the show. So if she wants to vent her frustration, it's just going to get her in trouble. So hit favorite instead of retweet, Sasha. Just until you build up some clout, The Save Me One. Do you think JBL is as big as is as big a WWE mark as he sounds, or is it just Vince in his ear? Oh, I think it's just Vince in his ear. The announcers all sound like marks for the show. Of course, they got Vince producing them from the gorilla position. He's feeding them all these lines. And so I think it's absolutely Vince in his ear. Mecha Shadow, Samoa Joe can have a great match with a lot of main WWE roster. Who would you put him against? I don't know, off the top of my head, I think maybe Kevin Owens or Cesaro. I'd be interested to see both those matches. JGH Zilla could have just had Sheamus cash in after the match where he got injured in Dublin. Even if it wasn't that bad, just have Sheamus be a transitional champion for either Seth again or Reigns. Screw that. What I couldn't figure out is when the title was vacated, why they didn't have Sheamus just come out in the opening segment of Raw on Monday, cash in Money in the Bank, and win without actually having to wrestle a match at all. Wouldn't it be weird if that had worked? Would have been kind of funny. I would not be happy to see Sheamus win the title, because wow, he is not positioned in any way, shape, or form to do that right now. But it would have been kind of funny. Direwolf57, so much that she had to respond by wanting to delete her Tumblr account because of the outrage. I respect Sasha for that. Well, all right. But again, the smart thing for her would have been to not reblog that message at all. If she's trying to rectify it, well, she's doing what she can. But the damage may have already been done. JGH Zilla. I know it wouldn't be the best idea, but the Money in the Bank to me is an in case shit happens break. It can be used in that capacity. Personally, I hate Money in the Bank now. I think it's a completely overused gimmick. I think it's a crutch for the writers, so they don't have to build up new stars properly, because it gives them an easy out. It's like, well, we want to put the belt on somebody. Don't have to build them up the right way over months and months and get him over and get people accustomed to him so they want to see him as a champion. No, we can just have him cash in Money in the Bank without doing shit with him. Kind of feels like what they're going to do with Sheamus now. I mean, he is not being positioned to be a world champion in any way, and yet he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's like an afterthought. Jeff Atwood, with everything going on with Rollins, what is your guess on the plans for a Brock Lesnar at Mania? My only idea would be Lesnar versus Ambrose at Mania, Battle of the Crazy Men. I doubt it. Again, Ambrose, nothing against Ambrose, but he's just not been built up enough to be a strong challenger for Lesnar. You think Lesnar would just walk right over him. What'd they do with Brock at Mania? I don't know. I heard something saying that they wanted to bring The Rock back to fight Lesnar, which I would just not be interested in. Fuck. Who could they send to Brock at this point? I mean, it's not going to be Taker again. That's done, hopefully. They've done Cena. I don't know if Orton were back at that point. He's not really positioned well either. I don't know. That's a good one. Maybe they'd add him to the main event again. The Save Me one. Take away Sasha, Paige, and Becky, and the Divas have nothing. So not a Charlotte fan, huh? I like Charlotte as a wrestler. Personality-wise, I don't think she necessarily inherited her dad's charisma. Right now, I know absolutely nothing about Charlotte except that she's Ric Flair's daughter. And take that away, and does she even have a character? Not really. Good wrestler, though. But yeah, at least those others have some kind of personality. Never really been a fan of Sasha's personality for some reason. I don't get the boss gimmick. I don't understand it. It's always felt phony to me. I guess I'm in the minority on that one. But yeah, I like Becky a lot. You know, and I think when PCB had that in-ring promo segment, I think it was with The Miz or something, and Becky talked about how she wanted to fight Godzilla or something like that. I was like, okay, here's a girl with some natural, charisma and perkiness, and she's got more personality than most of the other divas combined. Let's focus on this. Let's expand on this. She seems like she's got an enjoyable personality. So I would like them to see them do something with this instead they just go with Sasha. And personally, I think they're missing the boat on Becky Lynch right now. I think they could make her a star pretty easily if they just gave her some stuff to work with. Mecha Shadow, if the Wolves started a feud between each other, which one would be the heel? Does it matter? I guess Eddie. Because people seem a little more inclined to cheer for Davey, I guess. I don't know if it would make a huge difference either way, though. Deontay 320, it would be nice if TNA stopped doing invasion angles because it's turning into Mortal Kombat with TNA being the Earth Realm and everything against them is Outworld, Shinnok, etc. Yeah, it's been one of the big go-to angles for years, and I'm completely sick of it. Just wanted to see them do something new. Direwolf87, what I meant by respect for that is that Sasha is showing confidence. Vince should respect what Sasha did. Okay, granted, but remember, she did kind of shoot herself in the foot by reblocking that thing in the first place, which was kind of dumb on her part. The Save Me one. Austin versus Lesnar. Really? Austin's got one more match in him and you want to throw him at Lesnar? Jesus. You have to take Austin out of there on a stretcher. I mean, the guy's got to be pretty fragile. You're retired due to neck injuries. Now he comes back years later for one match and you put him in there with a guy who could break him in half. Legit. No, you'd want to put Austin in there with a guy who could who wouldn't like beat the fuck out of him on general principles. Man, it's fun to watch Brock beat the living shit out of people, but I feel bad for his victims because bumping for that guy's gotta hurt. And I can't imagine Austin would want to do that. Direwolf 87, Sheamus or Orton versus Lesnar at WrestleMania 32. If you put a gun to my head and make me choose, I guess I'd go with Orton. He'd probably be easier to rebuild. I mean, Sheamus is nowhere near ready for a role like that. HB Hain 4441, thoughts on TNA still pushing Robbie E and Jesse Goddard even though the bromance are over? I try not to have any thoughts about that, honestly. I'm not feeling Robbie E as a babyface. I didn't feel him as a heel either. It doesn't seem like he's really changed that much about himself. He stopped using the rest hold of doom now that he's a face, so his matches are somewhat better. But personality-wise, it seems like he's mostly the same guy. Jesse Goddard's, I guess, is more... He's less annoying as a character, but I've never been impressed with the guy's wrestling. I'm still waiting for Jesse Goddard to do something impressive in the ring. I just haven't seen it yet. He's got a nice drop kick. That's about it. JGH Zilla, apparently The Undertaker made an appearance on The Tonight Show? When was that? I didn't hear about that. But I haven't watched The Tonight Show since they kicked out Conan O'Brien. Direwolf 87, there may be a pairing between Eva Marie and Nia Jax. Alright. I haven't seen Nia Jax, and Eva Marie I don't care about. So whatever. Jimcon 1479, let's address the elephant in the room. Destination America has given Dixie Carter so many chances, and instead of doing something innovative, she does the same things and expects the same results. It seems like they were trying some innovative things at first when they first showed up on the network, but then they kind of got tired of that and then just went back to the same old stuff they were doing before. Yeah, they're trying a couple interesting production things right now, at least with the green screen that the announcers do the show in front of. And like with a virtual studio, which is at least something I haven't seen before in a wrestling show. So that's different. Aside from that, yeah, it's pretty much the same show. And they're mostly just doing the same thing and expecting that to get them to where they need to go when it didn't before. So I don't know what their thought process is on that. Direwolf 87, they should do something great with Becky, I agree. Yeah. They should. Jimcon 1479, would Fourth Dimension Fool Killer make a good heel manager? I'm sure... Probably, yeah. I'm sure he would tell you so. I think ultimately he would be more interested in getting over himself than anyone he was managing, though. Because he's got a pretty massive ego. Direwolf 87, Deadly Games Part 2 or no? Not sure to what you were referring. I'm sorry. HB Hain 441. Sorry. Rather see Becky Lynch in the title picture with the personality she has. Yeah. Especially when so many of the divas are just a blank slate when it comes to personality. Uh, the Bella Twins have so little going on there. Alicia Fox can show personality, but she never gets a chance. Natty, her whole personality is being a member of the Hart family. And so on, and so on. With Becky, you got a girl who really stands out in that department, so why would you not want to play her up? She deserves a bigger role than she has. William A. Bear, your thoughts on Mortal Kombat X? Don't have any. I get bored with fighting games easily, and I was never really huge on Mortal Kombat in the first place. Jeff Atwood, Lesnar versus Owens at Mania would be a great program if booked right and if the story was just right. Yeah, that's the big if, isn't it? Unfortunately, they have, and to a certain extent, turned Kevin Owens into a chicken shit heel. Well, occasionally, like with many characters on this show, his personality traits change from week to week based on the needs of whatever situation he's involved in. But a lot of the times, he's a chicken shit heel, and that's not going to work with a guy like Brock Lesnar. Right now, Kevin Owens is essentially a mid-carder. And you can't throw a mid-carder at Lesnar. You just can't. It's not going to work. I'm sure it would be a good match, though. Mecha Shadow, remember when Velvet Sky used to be part of the show? Neither do I. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You get the World Title Series. We get group knockouts in it. And you got 4 knockouts in there. You get Gail, Kong, Brooke, Madison, and if this thing is really going to last for months and months, you only got 4 women in there. Well, none of the other knockouts are going to be on the show. And apparently Velvet was complaining on Twitter about this, saying, I haven't been on the show since July. I guess that was the last time they taped TV, and they taped months of it, and it was all this tournament stuff. And they're only using 4 women for that, so yeah, she hasn't been on the show since July because of the World Title Series. So, hey, it's got that going for it. It's keeping Velvet Sky off the show. Direwolf 87, Lesnar versus the Bromance. Why? It would be fun to see them get destroyed, but why would you want to waste Lesnar on something like that? Deontay 320, why would EC3 pay a fine? I'm not entirely clear on that either. I don't know. I'm this was probably explained somewhere, and I'm just not remembering it. Maybe because he attacked John Gaburek backstage after Bound for Glory. That probably has something to do with it. Although I'm kind of cloudy on the details right now. I know a lot of the story details surrounding his injunction happened off screen, and they were in like articles on the TNA website or whatever. So it had something to do with what happened at Bound for Glory. I'm just not exactly sure what or how. Jeff Atwood, if anyone who has a PS4 who wants to get the remake of Final Fantasy VII when it comes out in a few years, here is a very important thing to remember. Don't level Eris. Yeah, poor Eris. Dude, I am seriously considering buying a PS4 just so I can get that game. I'm really excited. I'm not even a gamer, really, but I'm really excited for the Final Fantasy VII remake. I remember playing the original and spending hours and hours on that. That was such a great game. Jim Con 1479. Ever watch Stargate SG-1? Not really. I watched episodes here and there. I was never really that into it. I liked Stargate Atlantis more. And Stargate Universe was actually really good. I thought that was a huge step forward for the franchise. So, of course, it only lasted 2 seasons. But yeah, I preferred Atlantis and Stargate Universe. Never really got into SG-1, though. Yeah, William A. Bear, you skipped my Mortal Kombat X question. No, I answered it. I have no answer. I haven't played Mortal Kombat X. I get bored with fighting games very easily, and I was never into Mortal Kombat to begin with. I liked it when I played it, but I wasn't like addicted to it or anything. So I really have no opinion on it. Let's save me one. Do you think Sting versus Taker happens at WrestleMania this year? Oh god, what would be the point? The time to do Sting versus Taker was last WrestleMania. I mean, now, you put Sting in there with Triple H, he lost. You put Sting against Seth Rollins, he lost. What would be the point of putting him in with The Undertaker now? What, so he can lose again? I mean, doing the Sting versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania this year would have at least had some kind of intrigue. I mean, it probably wouldn't have been a good match, but at least, you know, story-wise, you could sling it. But no, they wanted to do Sting versus Triple H because I guess Triple H needed pay-per-view payday, so they can do some of this so they can do the WWE versus WCW bullshit 15 years after the fact. Who cares at this point? Just turned into a big ego stroke segment. So it's, hey, we beat WCW again. Vince, you own WCW now. Why do you care about beating them again? You already beat them. Darwolf57, should AJ Styles sign with WWE? I say this because they did feature him by name on the homepage of their website. Should he sign with them? I don't know. It seems like he's making a good living working independents and like New Japan and stuff. I think I read somewhere that he said he'd be open to it because he's got to support his family. He's got to do what's best for his family, make the most money, and if that means signing with the WWE, why shouldn't he? Now AJ's got to do what's best for AJ. Direwolf87, most underrated manager of all time? Underrated? Christ, underrated. I don't know. I have no answer for this. Nothing really springs to mind. I remember managers. I mean, I remember, I don't like Paul Bearer and Paul Heyman and other people like that. And there's Bobby Heenan and so on. But that were the great ones. But underrated, dude. I got no idea. Sorry, I don't have a good answer for that. William A. Bear, it is a big damn mistake for Sting to go to the WWE to begin with. Well, maybe. I could see why he'd want to do it. Why he'd want to experience that WrestleMania moment. I mean, the guy deserved it after everything he's done. It's not like they've treated him badly. I mean, they put him in spots where he feels like a special attraction. And then he's had like two really high profile matches. I don't see how it's a mistake on his part. I mean, he hasn't won either of those matches, but they treat him like a big deal when he's there. Mecha Shadow, I guess Triple H needs to remind everyone that he is the one with the shovel. Most likely, yes. JGH Zilla, Reverend Slick was underrated. Okay, just Slick. He was never reverent. Later. Okay. Direwolf87, James Mitchell. Was James Mitchell really underrated, though? I seem to recall everyone thinking he was really good. I've never encountered a wrestling fan that had a bad opinion of James Mitchell. I think the general consensus is that the guy is really talented. You beat mine, Direwolf. Thank you, Gigi-Zilla. Direwolf 87. Damn. Where did that come from? Last question. Who is the next face of the Divas division? The next face? Who would you say is the face of the Divas division now? I mean, you could argue that it's the Bella Twins still. Can't really say it's Charlotte. She hasn't been around that long. I guess Paige, for lack of any better options, Paige right now. I guess who would be the next face after Paige? God, I mean, I'm not too familiar with all the girls in developmental right now. It'd be kind of cool if it was Asuka. Be cool if it was Becky. I'm sure a lot of people would be happy if it was Sasha. Who will it most likely be? It probably Charlotte, just because of the Ric Flair connection. Because they do love their legacy stars, you know. I don't know if there's a solid candidate though after Paige. Who knows? JGH Zilla probably underrated in the way he never made it to WWE. Oh, okay. I was just going by the general opinion of his talent level. That's what you were talking about. Mecha Shadow, favorite Rock versus Austin match? Oh, who knows? I don't. I don't know. I mean, those matches were so long ago now. I don't really have any good. I'm really blanking on that. Sorry, I don't have a good answer. Maybe at WrestleMania when Austin turned heel and joined Vince just because of how batshit insane that moment was? Honestly, I haven't thought about Rock versus Austin matches in a long time. I'm afraid I don't really have an encyclopedic knowledge of wrestling history and dates and stuff like that. I mean, if you ask me what's my favorite Rock versus Austin match, I'd have to go back and rewatch. Yeah, WrestleMania 17. Yeah, maybe that one. In terms of match quality, dude, I'd have to go back and rewatch a lot of matches. To give you a good answer, sorry. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here. The whole match was awesome and built up really well. Okay, you know what? I gotta go take some cough syrup. And continuing on with this is not helping. So I think I'm gonna call it a night right there. Thanks everybody for joining in. I still am not sure where the comment section is. Okay, one more question here. The Chris Phoenix. I'm really glad you're unlike most TNA fans when it comes to Gail, meaning that you don't think that she should be pushed to the moon in 2015 while she doesn't let any other female talent shine. Yeah. That's my reaction. Look, I'm a fan of Gail. I think Gail is very talented. She's certainly one of the best female workers in the industry today. Maybe you could certainly make a case for her being maybe the best in North America. Or at least a good solid argument for her being. But I mean, the fact that they're still pushing her like she's God's gift to women's wrestling in 2015 is just becoming counterproductive. It's been counterproductive for a while now. Let's face it, by pro athlete standards, female pro athlete standards, Gail's getting kind of long in the tooth here. You can't rely on her forever. So to continue pushing her like she's the greatest women's wrestler ever, I don't see how that helps you. She should be helping to build up your next generation of knockouts, and instead you're still treating her like she's a cut above everyone else. Someday Gail is not going to be there anymore, and it doesn't seem like they're interested in preparing the Knockouts division for when that happens. I just feel like someday when Gail leaves, they're just going to be caught with their pants down, and they aren't going to know what to do. Because, they put all their eggs in Gail's basket, and suddenly when she's gone, and they just like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Because they weren't prepared for it. Because they're not preparing for it. And, there comes a point where pushing Gail so much just becomes detrimental to everyone else, and that's where they're at right now. But I still like Gail. I'm still a fan of her, but it's like, enough is enough. You gotta ease off Gail at some point and let the other people shine, and they're just not doing that. And that'll be it. Before I start to lose my voice, I'm sorry, I was coughing so much. I don't know where that came from. I wasn't coughing all day. I felt fine, and then suddenly I start this, and then it just comes out of nowhere. So I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna go find some cough drops and take a shower. Try to make sure I don't lose my voice before tomorrow night. So thanks everybody for joining in tonight. Stay tuned for the Comic Show post show tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we're talking about this week's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, and Flash. So join me for that, where I'm sure we will have some interesting discussions. There's some fun things to talk about with Flash and S.H.I.E.L.D. I have for S.H.I.E.L.D., I have more reasons why Space Asshole is untrustworthy. I have discovered more reasons. So that'll be fun. So join me for the Comic Show post show tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. I will talk to you then. So until then, thank you for joining me, and good night. Later.